Today we are joined by Krusher Joule, and you may not know his name, but you certainly know his work. Krusher had a hand in designing album covers. Let's just name a few. Diary of a Madman, Speak of the Devil, Iron Maiden's Live After Death, Black Sabbath's Born Again. So amazing stories, amazing history, and what a legacy. We all own those albums. And it was really cool to hear the stories behind those albums. I have to give a shout to our friend Stephen Blackmore over in England, or Stevie UK, as I like to call him here in Texas. Steve suggested that we get Krusher on the show. And so I did a little research and went to Krusher's social media post. And I highly encourage you to do the same, because what you hear today on the Talk Louder podcast is also, he tells these stories in his social media, and the stories are just incredible. So that was the impetus for us asking him to be on the show today, and he was very great.
Thank you, Mr. Blackmore, for bringing this name up that, you know, not just immediate memory of the name Krusher Joule, a.k.a. Steve Joule, for creating basically the graphic layout for half of your fucking album collection. I'm just going to say.
All the good ones.
Seems to be a theme proudly on the Talk Louder podcast, that we have guests that inadvertently that didn't set out to become iconic by way of creating, trailblazing a path on just how shit is done. Whether it be the media and the pulp that you see at the merch stand, down to that are related to the fucking song and the lyrics and the stage show, influential circle of creators that are rock and roll and related somehow, and it just makes me proud to have a podcast to bring this incredible, some might go useless information. You know what I mean? Which is just, you have to be into it. It's passion, and it's if you love rock and roll, and fuck it, if you like Sabbath and Iron Maiden, you're kind of screwed from the get-go that this is part of the reason you are who you are. And Krusher Joule has got you. He's got you, and you don't even know.
One of the best stories was the inner sleeve of the Diary of a Madman album. I think we all remember this from our youth, the lyric sheets, and then all of this interesting scribbles / hieroglyphics, whatever you want to call it, beneath. Pull out your Diary of a Madman vinyl and take a look at that, and we get the story behind that, and it's an incredible accident.
Yeah.
But wow, it turned into something really iconic. And of course, Krusher had a hand in the album cover itself. So yeah, the stories, the Born Again album, the Black Sabbath Born Again album, you either love it or you hate that album cover. I personally love it, and it's become iconic. And the story behind that is a doozy. And of course, the Iron Maiden Live After Death, you open the gatefold. Obviously, Derek Riggs did the cover, but the gatefold with all the photos, and then the inner sleeves with all the photos. Krusher selected all those photos and designed the layout. Just incredible. And we only scratched the surface with him today. But we focused on those three iconic albums. He did some work with Motorhead. So some great stories there. And just the work and the adventure that goes into creating these things that we all know and love was priceless. It was pure gold. So
well, the people that he's worked with, these are historical figures that he's worked with. Like he's rubbing elbows with, Rod Smallwood, Iron Maiden's longtime, decades now manager, and he mentions. I don't want to say name drops, because these were people he was working for and in the inner circle. And you just have to watch the episode. You just really just have to take it all in.
And a lot of interesting headbutting behind the scenes with the Ozzy Osbourne camp. I mean, he had a run there, Diary of a Madman, Speak of the Devil, and Bark at the Moon. And there was some time in history when Black Sabbath and Ozzy Osbourne were kind of going back and forth, and Krusher was kind of caught in the middle, working on albums for both camps. And so a lot of behind the scenes politics, I guess, if you will, that we learned about today to sort of feed the story behind what you're already familiar with, which is the visual presentation. So
Yes.
yeah, amazing guest. So happy to have him today, Krusher Joule on the Talk Louder podcast.